So I don't necessarily see the thought process behind all this bit of information and news, and you just kind of add it up. I just got to be honest. If you're a gamer, like no matter what the case is, like if you're just a person and let's say you're going after someone that you like or whatever the case may be, and they did all this stuff that Microsoft does to kind of prove that they're not interested in anything that you're doing. I really just feel like that's a real shame at the end of the day, because it's showing so much that they literally do not care about the fans at this particular point. And they're not even really, we're almost 3 years away from the next Xbox, allegedly, and they're just kind of giving up in the middle of a generation again. I don't see how that works for anybody, to be quite honest with you. I do want to get into it though. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps out the channel and means a lot to me personally if you guys could do that. I do daily gaming content, so yeah, that's something to look forward to if you guys are interested in, and I have a lot of fun with it, so thank you guys. All I ask really is a simple like. So yeah, anyway, there is a massive rumor that Microsoft is basically throwing in the towel for the rest of this generation. Maybe not even going to make any more consoles. Now, keep in mind, this is just a rumor for right now, but that they're just done with what they have right now. Like, they're going to continue to put out some Series S's, but like the Series X in particular is, finito, so to speak. So, I mean, what does that really say to you? Now, the interesting thing here is that I found today, which was a little bit upsetting. We knew that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was going to end up on PlayStation, right? We knew it. It got officially announced. It's coming to PlayStation April 17th. Good game. If you're a PlayStation owner and you haven't played it yet, yeah, go ahead and pick it up. It's a good game. With that being said, they did this really, really interesting commercial. It had the guy who plays Uncharted, Nathan Drake, in there. It had the guy who played Nathan Drake's brother in there, who also plays Indiana Jones. Just honestly, really, really a very interesting thing. It's like they're really playing it to the PlayStation crowd, because of course the PlayStation crowd knows who Nolan North is. The PlayStation crowd knows who these people are, and so it really kind of plays to that crowd in a big way. And so when you see that, you just kind of go, man. And not only that, like, it's PS5 Pro enhanced. It's like, PlayStation owners are getting kind of the best of all worlds right now, and it's really kind of unfortunate, to say the least. And when I look at this and I say to myself, how do you feel as an Xbox fan? How do you feel about these types of things happening? I question it. I wonder if Microsoft is going to be one of those companies that kind of just ends up doesn't care. It's like, again, this is why people really worry about their software. They worry about their libraries, and it's crazy to say, oh well, no, you shouldn't worry about that, or you shouldn't care, because again, why not care? It's like people spend their hard-earned money on this stuff, and then for it to kind of go by the wayside, I feel like is a huge mistake, and really just doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, it's just kind of funny to me the way that these things kind of happen, and the way that Microsoft kind of just, I don't know, I just want to say treats their fans at least a little bit, and it's just kind of crazy to me that even after all this time, we have to worry about, okay, well, is Microsoft even going to bother with doing any of these kind of things in the future? It's like, you want there to be hardware, you want there to be some kind of fight, some kind of something going on, and at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem like Microsoft cares too much about it, and hopefully that's something that they can still have time to kind of change or whatever. To be honest with you, I just really feel like we keep seeing things happen the way that they're happening, and it's kind of upsetting. It's like you got Nathan Drake, you got Nolan North, you got Troy Baker. This is like a far better ad campaign, far better than what we saw for the Xbox version. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's almost like PlayStation. They go after PlayStation more because they know that they're going to maybe buy the game, have a better chance to buy the game, etc. It's really kind of a targeted ad at them, and I can understand why Xbox fans would maybe be upset about that. It's kind of a slap in the face. But also, again, let's just say that Microsoft has ceased or, pretty much all but stopped the Series X from being produced, making those consoles. What is that going to do, like, long term for video games? You know what I mean? I mean, are people really going to be okay with them doing that? Like, it looks like from all intents and purposes they've basically pulled out of most territories that aren't the US and UK, and even in those territories it's hard to find an Xbox Series X because who knows, they're putting them in the blades for cloud. They're they're just not making them because they're not selling that well. It looks like Microsoft is selling about 150,000 units, 200,000 units a month. It's not very much. So they basically have called it a day with still almost 3 years left in the generation. And the reason why that's a problem is because they did the same thing last gen, right? So it's like you have back-to-back generations where they basically threw in the towel. Like, think about this, right? They didn't even produce the Xbox One S or the Xbox One S Digital. They made the decision to end production on those before the Series X and S even launched, which ended up turning out to be a mistake because we ended up being in lockdowns and things like that. And so, the PS4 saw a big bump in sales at that point, even though the PS5 was already a thing. And the reason why that was because you could still buy a PS4. And I think they might even still be producing PS4s, but Xbox Ones, they stopped years and years ago. I mean, the Xbox One X, for instance, came out in 2017, and they stopped production on it before 2020. So that just goes to show you how, like, the different mindset or whatever, and just some of the mistakes that Microsoft has made. They could have probably sold a bunch of them. That was a hell of a console, and since things were cross-gen for years anyway, why would you stop producing those platforms? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And again, people don't want to believe that they gave up last generation. That's something that we can kind of look at and go, okay, well, what do you mean they stopped making? They stopped trying in the middle of the generation. Well, think about it from this perspective. Xbox One launched in 2013. Realistically, 2016, 2017, 2018, something like that. They had canceled a ton of games. They closed down the majority of their studios, right? And then they decided to make a reinvestment going forward, which, as we all know, didn't really pay off. It's not exactly like a great situation, and then we kind of look at this as just fans, and we just kind of shake our heads. There's not like a whole hell of a lot to look at there and go, okay, well, there's a lot to be grateful for or thankful for or anything like that. It really is just a weird situation as fans because us gamers are just kind of the ones stuck holding the bag a little bit. And again, I'm pretty upset about that just as a fan. You know what I mean? I just feel like Microsoft could do a lot more for all of us as gamers, and if they are indeed specifically holding back consoles or not making more consoles, I think it's shitty that they're not saying so. You know what I mean? I just honestly just feel that that's kind of the way that it's going or whatever. It's like, if you have stopped doing this, you owe it to the fans to go out there and be honest with them, because it does feel like we're the ones kind of getting slapped in the face a bit, and you just get tired of it after a while. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy to kind of think how things have kind of changed over the years, how Xbox Series X and S could be getting utterly stomped the way that they are, and they're losing worse than with the Xbox One, which literally tried to take gamers' rights. That is kind of crazy to me. But crazier things have happened. And I think whatever they come up with next is probably going to be on track for even less than what we get now. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see how this kind of plays out. But I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.